It was a rainy afternoon in Istanbul. The sound of soft raindrops hitting the cobblestone streets filled the air as Angelina Jolie, dressed in a simple black coat and carrying a small leather bag, wandered through the narrow alleys of the city. She had attended a humanitarian summit earlier that day, but felt compelled to step away from the formalities and immerse herself in the real pulse of the city. She wanted to see the lives that existed beyond conference rooms and press briefings, the hidden stories of resilience and struggle. The rain had been steady but gentle, creating puddles that reflected the warm glow of streetlights. As Angelina strolled past a quaint cafe, her attention was drawn to the melodic sound of a child's laughter. The cheerful noise seemed out of place against the gray, rainy backdrop. Curious, she slowed her pace and glanced around. Across the street, under a makeshift shelter crafted from old tarps and wooden planks, sat a woman clutching a baby wrapped in a tattered blanket. Beside her was a small, handwritten sign, "War refugee. Please help." Angelina stopped in her tracks, her heart heavy. The contrast between the child's laughter and the woman's exhausted, weathered expression was striking. Without hesitation, she crossed the street, ignoring the curious stares of passers-by. Her steps were careful to avoid the puddles as she approached the shelter. "Hello," Angelina said softly, kneeling down so she could be at eye level with the woman. "May I sit here?" The woman's dark eyes, filled with a mixture of fear and exhaustion, met Angelina's. After a brief pause, she nodded. "Yes, of course." Angelina sat on the wet pavement, unbothered by the dampness. "What is your name?" she asked gently. "Layla," the woman replied, her voice barely audible. Her accent carried traces of her Syrian origin. Angelina offered a kind smile. "Layla, it's nice to meet you. And this little one?" She gestured toward the baby, who was now dozing peacefully despite the rain. Layla's face softened as she looked at her child. "His name is Omar. He's 6 months old." Angelina's gaze lingered on the baby for a moment, her heart aching at the thought of what this small family must have endured. "Where are you staying?" she asked. Layla hesitated, her voice trembling. "We have no home. I've been moving from place to place since we fled Syria. My husband..." Her voice cracked. "He didn't make it." A lump formed in Angelina's throat. She reached out and placed a comforting hand on Layla's arm. "I'm so sorry," she said sincerely. "But you're not alone anymore." Angelina pulled out her phone and made a quick call. As she spoke, she kept her voice calm and reassuring. Layla watched with a mix of curiosity and apprehension. Within minutes, a black van pulled up to the curb. A member of Angelina's team stepped out, carrying warm blankets and a thermos of hot tea. Angelina gently wrapped Layla and Omar in the blankets, ensuring they were warm. She handed Layla a cup of tea and encouraged her to drink. "It's just tea," she said with a soft laugh, noticing Layla's hesitation. "It'll help warm you up." As Layla took a sip, tears welled up in her eyes. "Why are you doing this?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Angelina smiled gently. "Because it's the right thing to do. You and Omar deserve kindness and support." They climbed into the van, where the warmth immediately enveloped them. Angelina spoke quietly with her team, ensuring Layla's needs would be met. The drive was short but quiet, the sound of rain tapping against the van's windows filling the silence. Omar stirred in Layla's arms, his tiny hand clutching at the blanket. They arrived at a shelter that specialized in helping refugees. The staff greeted them warmly, their faces lighting up with recognition as they saw Angelina. But she quickly redirected the attention to Layla and Omar, ensuring they were taken to a clean private room. Fresh clothes, warm meals, and medical care were provided immediately. Angelina stayed by Layla's side, offering her presence as a source of comfort. As Layla ate her first proper meal in days, Angelina spoke with the shelter's director. Together, they arranged for long-term support, language classes, job training, and childcare for Omar. Layla's future began to take shape before her eyes, and for the first time in months, she allowed herself to hope. Before leaving, Angelina sat beside Layla, who now looked more at ease. "You're very strong, Layla," she said, her voice full of admiration. "Omar is lucky to have you as his mother. Things will get better from here, I promise." Layla's eyes filled with tears again, but this time they were tears of gratitude. "Thank you," she said, her voice steady. "I will never forget this." Angelina gently squeezed Layla's hand. "One day, when you're ready, you can pass this kindness on to someone else. That's how we make the world a better place." As Angelina stepped out into the rainy evening, she felt a quiet satisfaction. She couldn't save everyone, but today, she had made a difference. And for Layla and Omar, the future now held a glimmer of hope.